Hey everybody, do you want to know how to get $1 million into your bank account as a performing musician? Start with $2 million. Music as an art form can be a transcendent experience, but music as a career can be a grueling one. There was a fantastic article in the Village Voice a couple weeks ago that profiled Linda O, who is one of the ascendant stars on the New York City jazz scene as a bass player and a band leader. When asked if her high profile was enough to make her a good living, Linda's response was, well, it depends on what people define as a living. So perhaps the idea of making a living as a professional musician is a bit quixotic, but there's still some things that you can do to ensure that you have basic necessities such as, well, food and shelter. 1. Hustle work as a sideman. There are a lot of facets to this first option. Working as a sideman means you get paid as a subcontractor, working underneath a band leader or some other entity. They assume all the risk and the reward for the music, and you just get paid a flat fee. This fee can sound amazing for people who aren't accustomed to this world, and it can be, but that fee also covers all the time that you spend rehearsing and preparing for that music, which can be upwards of 10 hours per gig. More importantly, job security is completely non-existent. You have to hustle for every single one of these gigs that you get, and there are other musicians who are trying to get that same gig. I gig out in New York City all the time. It's taken me about 6 years to really develop the network in order to sustain this sort of sideman model. And to do that, I kind of have to be a jack of all trades. I play bass regularly, but I also do freelance copy work. I play upright bass. I also play piano, and I even moonlight as a guitarist. My big advice to you is in whatever city you're in, find other like-minded musicians who are in the same boat if you want to get into the sideman work, because even if the money isn't there in the beginning, 5 years down the road, they'll remember you and call you for when the money does start coming in. 2. Teach. For some musicians, teaching is an incredibly fulfilling pursuit and has the added benefit of paying the bills. For others, it can be extremely draining, especially if you teach the same lesson over and over and over again. When I was a student, I had no idea why my teachers got so upset when I didn't practice. They got paid just the same. Now I know, it's incredibly emotionally draining, so don't do that to your teachers. Practice, for sake, practice. The best way of getting into teaching is to find a community music school. They'll give you students and take a fairly sizable cut for the administrative costs. Teaching has the added benefit of being relatively stable, at least in comparison to sideman jobs, but nothing compares to the job security of getting a day job. No, this does not mean giving up on your dreams by any stretch. For most people, this is by far the most sane option. Now, I don't necessarily mean get a traditional 9-to-5, although that can work, but very often touring and performing requires a little bit more of a flexible job like waiting tables. The dirty little secret, although it's not really that much of a secret, is that most touring original bands have to keep up some sort of side hustle just to stay afloat. Record sales are completely non-existent, and bands are very lucky if tours break even, never mind turn a profit. So unless you're one of the huge names in music, you're gonna have a side gig. I have a day gig of sorts. I'm the music director of an agency wedding band. Okay, so it's not really a day job, but there are a lot of administrative things that I have to do, and it is relatively stable. Music is special, so it can be very frustrating for some people to have to play music that they don't want to play just to make a living. Although getting a day job can cause the same dire cynicism among musicians of a completely different temperament, so it's important to know what kind of musician and person you are and what you can deal with in order to make a living. If you want to make a living, you have to have a job. Knowing how to navigate and choose among these 3 options is not only essential to making a living doing music, but also about feeling good about yourself while retaining the joy of music making. This will free you up to do whatever your heart's desire is artistically, whether it be making jazz electronic fusion or YouTube videos. Anyway, thanks for watching Adam Neely's bass lessons. I just wanted to talk a little bit about these 3 separate modes of making money, making music. I got this whole idea from Dave Liebman, who's an amazing musician and also music educator. He played in Miles Davis's band for 10 years, and I took a 2-year seminar class with him when I was at the Manhattan School of Music. So definitely check out Dave Liebman if you haven't already. He's a phenomenal musician. He wrote a really, really interesting book called A Chromatic Approach to Jazz Harmony and Melody. And let's see who's texting me. Okay, cool. That was a text message. Let me actually show the camera this. It's a text message saying that he needs the new pages by 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'm working on a musical right now, and I'm working as a copy editor, or a music copyist. So, you know, there we go with the sideman job. Got to keep the hustle on. Anyway, I got a new video coming out every Monday. So until next time, bass.